And I think you all should get a copy of God Bless the USA Bible now and help spread our Christian values with others. There you have it. Let's make America pray again. God bless you, and God bless the USA.
Forgive me now. I got tears in my eyes, and some of you are going to think that's funny.
It is. It is very, very funny. So I got this fundie dude is, has tears in his eyes because Trump is selling a Bible. And so we're going to get into it. And I got a special guest today. So we're gonna have some fun. So this is the Punk Apostate, and my name's Brantley. So today we got a special guest. We got Secular Rarity from the Atheist Experience and a bunch of shit. How we doing, man?
I'm great, man. I'm so excited to be back on with you. I always love hanging out here. And so when you hit me up and we're like, man, it's been a minute, let's get together again. Honestly, I couldn't think of anything better to do on this holiest of holy days.
Right.
And we really wanted to just take time to think about and remember bunnies that lay eggs, despite the fact that most mammals do not. They give live birth, but not all do. Some lay eggs like bunnies, and more importantly, they are candy and chocolate filled. So it's an amazing evolutionary fact. All of the things that I have just said are completely true. Including how we scheduled this show. So none of that was made up.
No. No. And they're colorful eggs too at that,
yes.
And they come out all pretty. And it's
fascinating. Most eggs are, a single solid color that would be generally considered fairly normal in nature, like, grays or whites or blacks, maybe even green sometimes, right?
Eggshell white, maybe.
Right.
Eggshell white.
Right. It's almost like, we named a whole fucking color about
the type of white.
Yeah. I mean, it's, honestly, again, super, super glad to be here celebrating zombies. And
right.
I don't know.
It's funny. Like, yeah,
that's what happens.
It's weird. Like, somebody the other day was like, it was at the grocery store. The bagger was like, "Happy Resurrection Day." And
wow.
Like, okay, yeah, it would be like, "Happy Torture Murder Day." Yep, to you too. Happy Blood Magic Torture Murder Day.
Right.
Well, whatever.
Right. Right. Such an odd thing to be celebrating. Like, it's not even because it's murder that somebody else did a long time ago. Just imagine celebrating that at all in any capacity. Like,
right.
It's just weird. It's really strange. And then to flavor it up with all the cute little adorable things that we do and the bright colors, and it doesn't change the murder, you guys.
No, it's so weird too, because I remember, like, you always see these posts and stuff of people being like, "Oh, now we have to, now we have to explain to our kids, what being gay is and stuff like that." And I'm always like, "Yeah, I feel you." It was like we have to explain to our kids why, there's these crazy people that really, there's that celebrate torture murder of a guy that they really love, and it's like you'd think that they would hate that guy, and that's why they're celebrating the torture murder of that guy, but they didn't know it's because they like him, not because they hate him.
Right.
Explain that shit.
Yeah, you think your job is tough. I gotta explain why there's a bunch of adults LARPing as cannibals. Like, that's a weird one to children. Surprisingly, children aren't, it's not that difficult. You just go up to a child and you say, "Hey, you know how some men like women?" And they go, "Yeah." And then you go, "Cool. Some women like women and some men like men. And some people don't really like anybody like that." And it's like, "Oh, okay." And then they just go about their day. Super easy. Yeah.
Do not care at all.
The difficult explanation is to tell a child that there's this dude who really cares about what they're doing and is watching all the time, but is never around and never actually interacts with them. But you have to constantly interact with them and just figure shit out on your own. But again, piss them off and
then you get torture murdered for eternity.
That's a tough one for kids, and that's why it takes years of indoctrination. It's really it's really weird. But I mean, on a happier note, there is actually a holiday today, which is Transvisibility Day. So that's always a good reason to get together and celebrate. Yeah.
Hey, there's Amber. No, it's awesome. I love that it's on Easter too. That's great because I'd much rather celebrate that day.
Right. And it's really the fact that Easter changes. Like I'm pretty sure since Transvisibility Day started, it's always been the 31st of March. Like this is an early Easter.
Yeah.
This is a bit earlier in the season, because it's one of those holidays that just, we don't really have a day for it. It's just after something else or like the third Thursday or whatever. It's fine. I mean,
I don't even know if I know what the what it is, like you said, like a third Thursday or something.
Yeah, seriously, it's something after. It's something after. I know it's the Sunday after Good Friday. I just have no idea exactly what Good Friday is. Well, Good Friday is 40 days after Lent, right? The beginning of Lent. So, like, I don't fucking.
I mean, is it because when the bunny comes out of the hole and then stays out or something? That means that's
correct. That is right. I know all of this is true. Yeah,
oh, God.
It's a great. Yeah, we're starting you all off with 100% factual information. Not a bit of this again is
100%. Yeah, no speculation here.
Nope,
That's
none.
All right, let's get it. So this is it's Marcus something. I don't care.
I've never heard of this guy.
He's got a huge following.
He does?
It's like hundreds of I was like, what, 400,000?
Oh no, I think his subscribers are like 700 something. Yeah, seriously. Like he's way up there.
Wow, 778,000.
Yeah, look at that.
Wow, dude,
look at that.
Unreal.
Yeah. And not to, not trying to shit talk or anything. I'm just saying, I've never heard of this guy. I think one of the reasons that I have never heard of this person is because after watching this one video, I was like, oh, he doesn't really have anything to offer. Okay, cool. That's probably why I've never, not saying like William Lane Craig is some, genius or anything. Right. But I am saying like he does actually provide stuff that is, debatable. Right. This guy is like standing on a street corner yelling about the end times or shit. Right. And it's like, oh, okay. All right, cool.
You almost wonder if he gets all those like those subscribes from like people like always a Christian, like a MAGA subscribe. So they have to do it because they support the thing. And that's
of course.
It's a guilted into subscribe.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that really, is kind of laughable sometimes about some of their numbers is because I think if you actually, went in individual by individual, you'd find they're all the same people. Like the 1.5 million people on Truth Social or however small it is, right? Like they're the exact same people that are the 1.5 million Matt Walsh subscribers, it's just like, there's no difference, so, but again, it's very popular. It's very, very popular, folks. And I'm sure it's because of his undefeatable, very sound arguments that he's going to present to us today.
His flexed up arguments. That's what he's got.
Exactly. That's right. Because, he probably sells some fucking supplements too, by the way, because there's a massive global conspiracy about cancer or whatever. I don't know, man. I'm not gonna do his job. I'll let him do his job. Like
it's probably just chalk. Like you just take chalk and put it in a powder.
Chalk and grass, bro.
That's it.
We've been eating chalk and grass for generations. Why have you ever noticed that when human beings stopped eating chalk and grass, like more cancer started?
That's right.
Coincidence?
Right, and it was right when we started diagnosing it too. I mean, that's,
exactly.
Numbers are skyrocketing.
And I think they took prayer out of school somewhere.
That was probably the day before. Yes, that was.
I'm so sorry, folks. I know, Brentley is normally a little bit more focused. I just come in and just wreck everything. So we are going to watch this video.
Yeah, no, that's true. but no, that's awesome. All right, so yeah, this is Marcus, whatever his name. What did he say his name is? God damn it, Marcus Rogers. Okay,
Right.
and then here we go. Let's see what he's got to say.
Me feel like, hey, God is trying to say something. Remember that the Bible says he uses the foolish things to confound the wise, and that his ways are not our ways, his thoughts are not our thoughts.
What do you have you ever heard that one before?
I
know
have
we're
not. I have
uses the
not.
foolish things to confound the wise.
No, I feel confident he misquoted something there, but I'm
Right.
not super positive exactly what to point to be like, oh, okay, this is like the original quote you're talking about. But
Right. It
yeah.
sounds like what I used to do to mess with people, where I would just pretend to be really stupid and
It
then wait
sounds
for someone
bad.
to.
Yeah, it
Yes.
sounds like a dick thing. It sounds like God is purposefully confusing people when they're knowledgeable about things. And that sounds like your God doesn't want people to know. It doesn't
Yeah.
look good for you, bro. I don't know why he would say that, but I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah,
I'm just-
it's weird. It's like, so we're all dumb, and that confuses the wise people. So that's
Uh-huh.
just, and God said that's a good thing. Yes.
Uh-huh. And
Okay.
God wants you to be dumb.
Rely not on your own understanding. Don't try to understand stuff. You don't need to understand things.
Yeah, it doesn't,
Just
yeah.
think what we're telling you right now.
Yeah, doesn't look good for him, but again, he's got so many subscribers, he must be intelligent, right?
Something,
So,
yeah, something's got. He's doing something right. It's probably the fireplace back there. It's really
that's-
nice. So,
it is
nice
excellent. It does look
nice.
nice. Yeah.
ambience there. It's like that.
Right. And we've talked about this a million times before, all the way back to 2014.
Mhm.
God raises up
Way
kings
far
and
back.
he tears them down.
Way.
And it's a significant thing because it signifies a season, right? And I'm not going to get into
What?
all of that.
Right.
I'm gonna play
keep it
this
super
clip.
vague. Yeah. Yeah.
No, just
Yeah.
a season.
I'm not gonna really explain any of these concepts that I'm throwing out to you for the first time to chew on, because then it'll be super easy to show that I'm stupid and or wrong. So what I'm gonna do is talk about movements, and I'm gonna say that as we see around us in everyday life, movements are all around us.
Right.
In everyday life. And so you move through that to whatever bullshit I'm about to conclude. Again, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's cool. I get it. I understand why people do that. I understand why people latch on to that. It's just frustrating when you just follow a thought for a second and you're like, hey, man, I really would love to know the beginning there, because you started on one path and just completely went off in another direction, and it'd be super cool if you could just tie that first thing up for me.
Right.
But-
What is he even? I don't know. He's like, and we're not going to go on. It's like one of those people, like, and I do this a lot too. I'm actually doing it right now, where you interrupt yourself like seven times before you get. But like, he seems just like it keeps on interrupting himself to like. And I'm not going to talk about. We've talked about this a million times before. We could talk about it, but we're not going to. I'm not going to talk about the thing that we're going to. I'm not going to. You've already heard me when I was. Remember before with the other video I was talking, and it's like, oh my god. Just fucking say the thing, dude.
Just say anything at this point, just pick one direction, go with it. It doesn't matter, Like, tell us
Yeah.
what you had for breakfast this morning, Marcus.
Right.
That's fine.
That'd be more
At least
interesting.
it's specific,
Right.
At least it's not like, well, breakfast is this concept of fasting for a period of time, whether it is purposeful or subjective, but ultimately by eating, it's like, Jesus Christ, man, was it cereal? Was it eggs? Waffles?
Just say the thing. Yeah. Oh my god,
It
it's
gets
great.
better,
Yeah,
folks. Don't worry,
President
it gets better.
Oh yeah. Wait. See.
Trump just posted, and I simply just want people to pray about it. You have to understand that we are in a war,
Mhm.
and so it's not so much
A
about
war.
getting caught up and distracted by the colors of the chess piece, right? Or what team, because what a lot of people do is
I
they
have
shut
no
down, right?
idea, by the way, really what he's trying to say here. When I first watched this, because I only watched this just once through, And just to have an idea. And when he said this, I was like, is he making a race comment? Is he talking about black people and white people, or is he talking about just like teams in general, like Christians, non-Christians? Or I'm really not positive what he's saying right here, and he does not explain in detail. And yeah,
Because
so
you're right, because that was my first thought, was like, is this
odd.
like about race or whatever? But like, now it almost seems like he's saying like the colors of the chess pieces, in the sense of like, it doesn't matter which team you're on, I guess. Right? Is that?
But then, but if you but this is the problem with taking that stance, is that if you think that's what he's saying, the entire rest of this video does not make sense, because he's very clearly telling you about paying attention to what team you're on.
To which the right, yeah,
That's clearly the message. It doesn't. So I don't. That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure what he's saying. I really just don't get it.
Yeah, you're right, because it's like, he's like, oh yeah, because we're at war, and it doesn't matter which side. So you can just kill everybody. Then you're just like shooting everybody with a Gatling gun around.
The time that it matters more than anything else, right? is at war. You like, that's exactly what you would do. You'd be like, hey, what side are you on? And it's like, oh, I'm with the other guys. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry, bro. I can't be friends now. It's like, that's like textbook definition. And he just instantly is like, nah, fuck it, man. Don't matter what color. Don't matter. Just pick a side.
You're just like the agent of chaos that just is fighting everybody.
Pray on it, by the way.
There you go.
Pray on it, by the way. And Trump just delivered a shocking message to all Christians. This is their worst nightmare, is the title that I personally chose for this edited video.
Oh
so
my God, I didn't even catch that. This is their worst nightmare. I didn't even see that.
Like so it's like I don't know. He does not explain. So, and again, somehow it gets better. I can't. We're not even a minute in. I will shut up. I will shut up so we can get through more of it. But there is so much.
We could stop like every 2 seconds if we wanted to. But no, we'll let him go until we get to the Trump clip, and then we'll start pausing once we get into that clip a little bit.
Right, when they hear the who it is, or what group this person is from, they don't want to hear anything. We have to love the truth. So we shouldn't get so caught up and distracted by the colors of the chess pieces, but we need to focus on what moves are being made. We know that the Bible says in the end times a lot of different things were going to happen. We know that we're living in the end times. And so living here in America, the eyes of the world are on America, right? America influences the rest of the world. They watch us. That's why it's so important, who is leading America, what kind of legislation is being passed. And if you are a kingdom-minded person, right, and you're looking at America from a kingdom-minded perspective. See, some people, they look.
Right, sorry, I gotta pause it on the kingdom-minded. Like, so basically, if you're a Christo-fascist, then that's what that means. Kingdom-minded.
I mean, that's what he said. Yeah, and there's gonna be a couple of points like that where I'm just gonna go, hey, folks, just want a friendly reminder. He said this. I didn't say this. He said this about himself. That's his comment. His comment was, if you want to live in a country like I do, that is completely ruled in an autocratic manner from the Christian perspective, that, by the way, is my specific Christian perspective, right, you should do this. And it's like, oh gosh, I didn't know you were going to say that.
Right. Well, and you almost wonder, like, it's a good point bringing up like his specific kind of Christian, because like I wonder if you would like, okay, no, the Christians get to take over everything, they get to control all the laws, but it's the Catholics. Do you think he would fucking
no? I'm confident. No,
they don't count as Christians, dude. Like,
again, hey, if you're kingdom minded, folks, just think about that. Kingdom minded. Imagine living your life like that. And also, by the way, of course, there's the other meaning, which is, the kingdom of heaven. And so it's just literally a death cult. You just being like, hey, by the way, just as a reminder, once we get all the things we want on earth, then it all gets destroyed. And all of our enemies are tortured forever as we get to, I don't know, blow God for eternity watching them. So it's like, again, and they're offended. They're offended when I tell them that my friend just got married and he's very happy with his husband. They're offended by that.
And if you want to blow God or your husband,
Yes, sir.
either way, you know, go to adamandeve.com, enter code word Brentley, and check out.
Yes.
Get 50% off any one item, 6 free movies, 3 free gifts, and free shipping on the whole order. And the packaging is discreet, as lame as that is for those of us that are kind of proud of what we do in the bedroom and everything. But, you know, for all the weirdos that like their privacy, they do have discreet packaging. But yeah, so and if you want to like and subscribe, the little thumb thing down, look, see straight down. Look, yeah, you got it. Thank you. And another, okay, good. Got two already out the gate. That's great. All right. Thank you though for that segue. That was good.
Oh yeah, no, I'm a proud
proud
user of their site. They do a lot of great things and they sell a lot of great products. So
oh yeah, and support a lot of good causes too.
yeah, seriously. That was, I didn't even know that when I first like bought some stuff from them, and then like, you know, like a couple of months or so went by and like I had heard that and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna go buy something else now.
Right?
Cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's like you know, it's like they'd be like on the leftist version of whatever that right wing, like only buy a Patriot products or whatever the have you heard of that?
Yes, believe me, I have. Yes. You know what? We should start selling stuff like that on the left, like your end of the year survival guide with all your, you know, your package of like freeze dried whatevers and extra lube and dildos and stuff. We should totally start doing this. Somebody would buy it just for the novelty.
Hell yeah. They should make a survival loop too, you know,
Yeah,
like that's a big combo. The survival stuff plus
Has all the vitamins and nutrients you need to stay alive and blow your partner.
that's right. I mean, you're gonna be bored out there at the end of the world, so you know it's
Yeah.
you gotta do
Perfect.
something fun somehow.
Perfect time to experiment.
Here we go.
Look at it from a culture perspective, a religion, like religious perspective, but a kingdom person. You know, it is our job to represent the kingdom in this earth. God put Adam to have dominion in the earth. And so some Christians will tell you, oh, just stay out of politics. The Bible says acknowledge God in all your ways and he will direct your path. We see that politics affected Daniel in the lion's den, the 3 Hebrew boys, and even Esther. Because
Wait, were those 3 just separate stories?
So I know Esther, Daniel in the lion's den, I know of, and then the three Hebrew boys. I'm not exactly. Maybe if it was, maybe he's talking about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Right.
I have never heard anybody call that the 3 Hebrew boys, but maybe
Ever.
I just it's not. I'm not saying I'm knowledgeable on all the lingo, but if that's what he's talking about, I have never heard anybody call it that.
No, that's
which
so
is funny,
weird.
by the way, because the VeggieTales version of that story is actually about an Easter chocolate bunny factory.
Oh, that's right.
Like, isn't that funny? Yes, exactly. That is what always comes to mind.
Oh yeah, dude.
That moment and the moment where the Bob the tomato, he says like the pickle or whatever, he says like, why are you sitting? And he goes, oh, I'm not sitting. And he goes, what? And then he like kind of squishes and he goes, now I'm sitting, now I'm standing.
That was funny.
Sitting, standing. That's the only 2 pieces of that episode I remember. That fucking song and that fucking moment. And yeah, it's forever burned in my brain.
Oh, that's too funny. I actually did. Yeah, that is a good bit right there. That's sitting.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Okay. Credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because typically they suck at art, just all of it.
Yes.
And comedy especially.
Right.
You know,
right. And so honestly, anything that they get right, it almost is miraculous. It is almost evidence for their God. So
right. It's almost like the lips. Do you remember that song? I love my lips.
Oh yeah.
And he doesn't have lips. Did you ever notice that? He
Yeah.
doesn't. It's just a hole in the fucking the thing, and there's no lips on there. And he's singing about the lips he doesn't have.
Yeah.
It was frustrating. I got really irritated by that whole song.
It was popular though.
Oh yeah, the kids loved it.
that will use legislation just like they use media, just like they use entertainment, just like they use all of these things to push wicked agendas. And we know that the Antichrist, okay, he's going to use politics as well. So I'm going to play this clip.
Okay.
And some of you have heard me say recently,
confused
you know,
why he's putting on his headphones.
some things, and I'll say that
I guess I was thinking that too. I guess he doesn't wear them when he just hears himself. He has to hear the computer.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
I just thought that was still kind of it's not It's just nitpicky. It's just me being nitpicky.
Right, but don't do that. Like, don't do it offset, okay?
He
Just
is
flip and then have him on.
He's
Okay,
almost
like,
800,000 subscribers on YouTube, so I guess I just need to stop caring so much.
right. Yeah, he's probably better at this than me. But it's
I don't know.
But again, they got those pity subscribes, so it's just
what it is.
Put at the end, but let me just get to the clip because I don't want to be too long-winded with this. I just want to play what he just said.
This is okay. I'm sorry, but I know we're about to play. This is his Donald Trump's Truth Social. What is this? What is going on here? And that's fake, right? That's fake. That's a green screen, no? Or is that
I don't know. That might be Mar-a-Lago. I'm really interested in the picture on the bottom right corner. I don't know what it is. Looks like a bunch of people bending over,
right?
Standing in line. I don't know. It could be migrants. It could be people queuing for Disney World. I truly am not positive. It's just very weird. So
the whole thing is deeply uncomfortable. And this little red, white, and blue weird,
it's very masculine. Very I am intimidated by looking at it.
It looks like a Batman villain called the USA guy or something, like USA Man.
Right. He just shoots stars at you and like wraps you up in fucking flags and shit. Yeah.
That's right.
Like, everything is a reference. Everything is like a pun on flag America or something. Like he kicks some guy into a vat of acid and he's like, "You've been French fried."
Yeah. There you go. And Robin's like, "Oh, my stars and garters, Batman." Oh, fuck. God. Can't hear it, buddy.
Lee Greenwood, who doesn't love his song "God Bless the USA"?
I don't.
In connection with promoting the "God Bless the USA" Bible.
It's just an awful song. I'm sorry.
Like honestly, that's not. Yeah, like I'm saying that like with a background in like music, like it's not that good of a song at all. So
absolutely not.
Yeah, and then the message is stupid. So
it's even worse.
Yeah,
it's like,
not my fault. It's Lee Greenwood's.
Right, exactly. Yeah, he's the one that made the stupid. So blame him.
The King James Version and also includes our founding father documents. Yes, the Constitution, which I'm fighting for every single day, very hard.
Except when you're like saying that we should throw all those rules out, because the election was just so
misinterpreted, Brentley. You're not reading the Constitution right.
Right.
Yeah, it's your fault. That whole peaceful transfer of power, that's not actually in there.
Right. That wasn't explicit. It has to say. Trump's like, my name's not in there, so it doesn't count for me. Yeah. It only counts for.
Wasn't talking about me. I'm the best.
I'm outside those rules.
To keep Americans protected. Also, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, and the Pledge of Allegiance are all part of
documents. The Pledge of Allegiance.
God bless.
The Pledge of Allegiance. So was that in what the 50s or something?
Founding document, just like that national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner, that's been around right from the beginning.
Right.
From the very earliest days of America, just like that wonderful motto, "In God We Trust," the very earliest foundings of here's a Wikipedia article that's like, Jesus Christ, can't believe we have to explain this. All of those things are later recreations forced on the country by Christian nationalism. Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. All right. Yeah. Didn't realize it was that easy to debunk. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Done with that.
It was like 1954, right? Is that my mistake?
Yeah, for the Pledge of Allegiance. Yeah. And the Star Spangled Banner was after the War of 1812. So when we roundly got our asses handed to us by Canada.
By Canada? What the fuck?
I know, they burned our capital. It's terrible.
They did better than the
I know
the January 6ers.
Don't worry, we've been getting them back by being pretty shitty neighbors for the rest of the time. So
yeah,
they love it.
Like, well, he does look a lot like the Joker. I don't,
The USA Bible, and it's just very important to me. I want to have a lot of people have it. You have to have it for your heart, for your soul. Many of you have never read them and don't know the liberties and rights you have as Americans and how you are being threatened to lose those rights. It's happening all the time. It's a very sad thing that's going on in our country, but we're going to get it turned around.
You can always hear when he like stops reading.
Like I'm trying to wait till the end of this to like really rant about it, but it's so tough. He just sounds so insincere.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it is so frustrating. Like he is reading in the most monotone, uninterested. Like it's as if he's looking at his fucking watch the whole time. Like,
Right.
and then remember, your safety is important to me
Right.
and others. What the fuck?
I don't know. I mean, I guess you can buy this book thing, man. I don't know. You know, it's you know,
We're selling
okay.
it for something. It's probably reasonable.
Some X amount of money. I don't know. Shillings, maybe a couple shillings. Jesus.
Religion and Christianity are the biggest things missing from this country. And I truly believe that
Sorry, both religion and Christianity are the
Separate
two things.
things. Yeah, you're
What is that's-
massively different.
Who right? Like who doesn't
Just
stop
like-
him and be like, that's those? I mean, that's redundant, man.
Just
That's
like the
redundant.
two biggest things missing from my apartment, Brentley, is both pets and a dog.
And a dog, you know.
Just
Pets and a dog.
Missing both
Both
of
of
those
them.
very distinct categories.
God, you crack
we
me
need to bring them back, and we have to bring them back fast. I think it's one of the biggest problems we have. That's why our country is going haywire. We've lost religion in our country.
Oh,
up. We've lost religion.
can't find it.
Just any of them, just all the religions.
Should have had one of the should have had one of those like Apple Find My Religions, you know? Like,
right?
you know,
Right.
oop, where is it? Oh, you're 1 meter away from it. Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
God.
All Americans need a Bible in their home, and I have many. It's my favorite book. It's a lot of people's favorite
Okay.
book.
Okay. Theologians don't say that. I'm just
no.
like actual scholars who spend inordinate amounts of time dissecting the Bible do not go when asked, like, hey, what's your favorite book, man? Like, oh, actually, the Bible. Like
Right.
the only people I have ever met in my life that have ever honestly responded to that question with, oh yeah, the Bible, are people that it's just like, oh, you don't read the Bible. I can just tell by everything you've ever said to me in your life, you don't
Right.
read the Bible. Definitely not consistently like you're talking about. You just no, it's not a good read, you guys.
No.
It is poorly written because it was compiled by dickheads many years after the books were initially written by random fucking people. They somehow, okay, generations after the fact, you guys, a bunch of people argued for weeks, and somehow one of the books they were just like has to be in it is Genesis, which very early on has 2 stories of everything. And they looked at that and was just like, yeah, that's the way it should be. That makes complete sense. Nobody would ever write a book in any other fashion. Like imagine, I don't know, The Hobbit not having 2 different accountings of how he leaves the Shire initially. Like it would make no sense if you only told it one way. That
Right.
would be
Like in
ludicrous.
one, Frodo leaves and then meets the wizard,
Right.
and meets him on the way. And then the other one, if the wizard comes and gets him to do,
And
like
tells
that's how
him
it is.
Absolutely.
You know,
it's
it's like-
like, how could you understand the message of an omnipotent creator like Tolkien without hearing the story twice in contradictory fashion? Like, so
Yeah.
nobody genuinely says this book is my favorite book
No,
because it just can't be. It just fucking can't be.
it's like, and to be fair, like I feel like I've only heard people use that phrasing when they're talking about like a fucking Stephen King book or something. You know, like you don't like the Bible's just it sounds so
Right.
weird. Yeah, it's
Thought nobody says that.
my favorite. Okay.
This Bible is a reminder that the biggest thing we have to bring back America and to make America great again is our religion. Religion is so important. It's so missing, but it's going to come back, and it's going to come back.
Well, you got to stop listening to that REM song, because that's why it's missing. You're losing it. It's like,
strong, just like our country is going to come back strong. In the end, we do not answer to bureaucrats.
And if you want to come back strong, just go to adamandeve.com, enter that code word Brentley. All right. Oh, Jesus. All right.
In Washington, we answer to God in heaven. Christians are under siege.
Right.
We must protect content that is pro-God. We love God, and we have to protect anything that is pro-God.
We have to protect anything that is pro-God. We love God. We do.
It just, again, I truly don't understand how anybody listens to this specifically. Look, you say whatever you want about the rallies and other speeches. Fine. But like this moment right here sounds so fucking obviously bullshit.
Yeah.
He just does not sound invested at all. Like imagine if I was like 2 weeks ago, I got a message. A close family member had died. Tragic. Loved them a lot. I hope everyone really loves and appreciates the family around them. You'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like,
okay, robot, what the hell are you doing?
like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, what? He does not sound genuine. It seems clearly obvious he's reading shit.
This was take 72.
It had to be. It fucking had to be. Like, there's no way. Absolutely no way. I guess one of the real frustrating things is not that person has stupid idea and attempts to put it into action. The frustrating thing is that person has stupid idea and other people are like, yeah, sure, sounds good. We'll jump on board with that. We'll do that. Even though like they must recognize how dumb this is. They must recognize start to finish. This is a bad project, but
it's so, and you wonder if it's like just to pay for all of his legal.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God.
Just
Yeah.
like
just drowning in legal fees right now.
Right.
And only because, and I know this may shock people, he's potentially done illegal things. It's fascinating, but I do not have legal fees because of that fact. Like I don't artificially inflate properties that I'm selling. So,
exactly. No,
I don't defame people that I've sexually assaulted in the past, and this is a crazy thought, I just don't sexually assault people. It's really that simple. Really is that. It's really that easy. You don't want the deep state coming after you.
Right. For that. Yeah, and he kept doing it. That was the crazy thing. It's like he'd get sued for a thing, and then he's like, "Oh, I got sued for doing this thing," and then goes and does it more. And it's like, "Are you fucking stupid? What are you doing, man?"
Yeah. I know.
Jesus.
I know.
But yeah, he's definitely on like take 72 here, and somebody that's like the person whose job it is to make sure this thing gets done entirely said "fuck it" a lot. Fuck it, I don't care. Just not. But I don't care.
Every other take, it was like instantly he'd go, and we're selling this Bible. It's a great Bible. It's much better than the Bible that Joe Biden has. Joe Biden is a terrible president. We hate him. He's not good for us. And they're like, Trump, hang on just a second, Donald. We just want you to read the words on the screen. And he's like, oh, got you.
Oh, on the
screen. I'm selling this Bible. And the reason I'm selling this Bible is because America is doing terrible. Joe Biden is a horrible person. We've got to stop all the migrants from coming over. And they're like, nope, Donnie.
Hunter's laptop.
Words on the screen.
What?
Just sell the Bible. That's all we need from you. It should be a 5-second clip.
This is going on way too long. I'm getting frustrated here.
Oh my God. My God.
We must defend God in the public square and not allow the media or the left-wing groups to silence, censor, or discriminate against us. We have to bring Christianity back into our lives and back into what will be again a great nation. Our founding fathers did a tremendous thing when they built America on Judeo-Christian values. Now that
There we go. All right. We made it to the spot. When they, and because, you know, they always have to shoehorn that in there, you know.
And it's a made up fucking concept. That's what's so frustrating too, is that like not only is it just obviously blatantly factually untrue, but when somebody says Judeo-Christian values, Judeo-Christian history, Judeo-Christian, and I'm just like wow, what a really weird way to just like co-opt all of the Jewish heritage and ideals and just like just totally diminish it. Just imagine any other grouping like that. Like imagine if you were just like, yeah, the you know, United States indigenous culture heritage, you know, or
Right.
you know, Chinese and Mongolian, you know, cultural values. It'd just be like, wow, I really don't think you understand much about either of those groups.
And they hate Jewish people all the
I
time. Like, what?
know.
That's so weird. They're just
I
like constantly
know.
talking about George
So
Soros.
much anti-Semitism. It's like, it's crazy. It's just like, yeah, they're not. They don't care about. They don't care about Jewish values. They don't care about Jewish history. They use Jewish people as a pawn and in all capacities. And it's just another way to just, because again, like you have these Christian nationalists, which I don't know exactly that Trump or Marcus are necessarily in this camp. I've never heard them say it, but I've heard a shit ton of other people talk about the fact that really got to make sure the Jews are in Jerusalem so that my God can slaughter them and we can all bathe in their blood in the streets. And it's like, wow, bro.
It's
Messed up, man. That's
it's
a
just
messed up thing.
like they it's like they hate Jewish people, but they love Israel just because they need it for their fucking end of the world thing. You know? What I mean?
Yep. Again, it's a total it's total garbage. It's all coming back to this autocratic theocracy that they want to bring in, despite, you know, the literal fact that it goes against the founding of this country. It's just,
Right.
you know, that's not my words for it. That's the founding fathers' words.
Right.
Like, I didn't say this. I wasn't born. Jefferson said it. Adams said it. One of the most public religious figures at the time in that capacity. He was well known for talking about his love of God. And
Right.
yet even he was like, yeah, really gotta
Well,
get that separation of church and state thing.
Well, the first half of the first sentence of the first clause of the First Amendment says that we will make no law respecting a religion.
You know?
The first of all the things. Like, Jesus.
Yeah, must have been an accident. They must have just forgot. Or no, you know what it is? It's you lefty fucking, you know, wokey types, but just destroying our country, putting that into the Constitution after the fact.
Right. You're misinterpreting it, you know.
Clearly.
It's like that was all just to keep government out of religion, you know, and that's it. That's the only
Duh. Now I get it.
God.
Foundation is under attack, perhaps as never before. What can we do? Stand up, speak out, and pray that God will bless America again.
Right.
I'm proud to endorse and encourage you to get this Bible. We must make America pray again.
Oh.
Pray, get educated, get motivated, and stand with me and the legions of Americans asking God to.
Hold on, what was the get educated thing?
I know. It's so that's what's so frustrating about this video, is that it was just like, oh man, there's no way we're gonna be able to get through this in like 4 hours, because there's so much to yell about. Because like he's talking about what he's talking about, just in case anybody isn't also on this kick like I have been for quite a while. Charter schools are a massive problem in our country in a lot of different ways. His Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos, was a proud, vocal supporter of not just charter schools, but specifically Christian nationalist organized and run charter schools. There is a specific one. I think it's called like Hillsdale. I could be incorrect. It's based out of Ohio. My governor in Tennessee is currently actively attempting to go against the wishes of the constituents and the voters of this state to implement over 100 of these charter schools in our state right now. It's really a bad problem. So when he says get educated, what he means is he wants you, the individual who may or may not have the financial resources to accomplish this, to take your kids out of a school that is actively teaching them factual information and a school that is diverse and equal in terms of serving the community as a whole, despite your background or beliefs. He wants you to pull your child out of that, go send them to a very expensive private school that can deny people for basic, characteristics of humans. Yeah.
Yeah,
And just be like, oh, we don't like your fucking skin color, so you don't get to come here. Or we don't like the fact that you wear glasses, you don't get to come here. Or you're in a wheelchair. Literally, you can deny people for having disabilities. What a fucked up system.
And they'll sit there and say that the testing that all these schools like tested, they do better on their tests.
Absolutely do not.
Well, you don't let anybody. Well, I mean, when you only let certain like the most privileged people show up,
right?
It's like,
but
of
even
course they have time.
Right. Okay. So there's that to begin with. But what's worse is that when you actually go look at the fucking data, they do not. It is demonstrable that these schools do not do any better. Period. End of sentence. It is absolutely a lie. It is frustrating because, again, what that is teaching is half of our fucking population now is being brainwashed, and the other half of our population is being kicked around on fucking dirt and told, well, just figure it out. And it is a two-pronged system to destroy people from the inside out, because you keep the people that disagrey with you fucking ignorant, and then you take the people who already agree with you and you just load them up with more bullshit. So
just keep on lying. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, again, I know I said I was going to try and be quiet. I can't. There's so much in this.
It's too much. And you also, like, when he says, like, get educated or whatever, it also just kills me that the first thing that Republicans defund the second they get in power is fucking education.
Oh my God. It would be terrible if there was a track record of that for like 30 years. It would be horrible if that were public record and anybody could debunk it easily.
Right.
Fucking idiots.
Bless our great nation, to bring our great nation back, and to make America great again. I'm proud to partner with Lee in this offering. He's a very special man.
Weird.
Both as a
very special. I'm sorry. That sounds rude. He's very special.
Oh, yeah. It gets weirder in my opinion. But it's just
talent.
Talent. Very talented.
Bring our great nation back and to make America great again. I'm proud to partner with Lee in this offering. He's a very special man, both as a talent, but maybe even more so as a human being. He's very, very special. And I think you all should get a copy of God Bless the USA Bible now and help spread our Christian values with others. There you have it. Let's make America pray again. God bless you, and God bless the USA.
Again.
Forgive me now. I got tears in my eyes, and some of you are going to think that's funny.
I did.
Me too. Oh, I do think that's funny. Hey, tell us why you have tears in your eyes. Maybe that's funnier.
Right? It's just so impactful. You know, the
deep message. Oh my God. Gets me right here.
I mean, this flowery language, it's beautiful.
It's great. He uses all the best words.
It's like, it's so weird because it reminds me of that Norm Macdonald bit where he's talking about Hitler. And like people, they're like, oh, he had such a beautiful way with words and everything, and he's like, and then you play the clip and he's like, he's like, and it's like, but they're all the Germans who hear that, like the Nazis, and they're crying, like, oh, it's beautiful. But
didn't he just really have a beautiful way with words?
No, he did. And that's the thing. They're obsessed with the guy. And that's it.
Right.
It's so weird.
Anything he says, it's just like, oh yeah, it's great. Again, literally sounded like he was reading that for the first time.
Right.
It sounded like he did not care at all and was just interested about where he was going next. And so I don't know. I just, maybe that's what we need to, maybe we just have too much excitement. Maybe that's our problem.
That's
We're just too invested in the things that we're spending our time talking about. Like, we should just stop giving so much of a shit and just be like, this guy is promoting a narrative of autocracy, bad, very bad autocracy. I don't know. Maybe we'd get more views.
Well, I was going to
We lost
say
a viewer, so maybe not.
Dave Green and Wolfos are just like, oh my God, that was beautiful.
Yeah, right,
That was,
right.
oh,
Hey, let us know in the chat if you're crying right now from our incredible
Grand Theft Auto bots. This is, I can't. I'm going to have to turn off the screen. I'm going to,
I need a
that was
moment.
too much.
I need a moment.
I need a moment.
You guys might think it's funny.
Oh God, that's so funny. Jesus.
But America was built. The reason America has been blessed, the reason why America is the greatest nation, right, in this world, and why the whole world looks at America. Everybody is influenced by what happens in America, especially in the beginning. Though not perfect, though there were flaws, there were people that messed it up.
Forever to get to it. He's trying to say all of these good things are because we were founded on Judeo-Christian values, and I'm just trying. I was waiting and I was ramping up to just go wrong, but see, he just takes so goddamn long to just finish the very basic thought. So now I'm just going to explain it, and then when he finally gets there, I'm going to say it again.
Right, there you go. And you can hear him having to, like, Craig's like, the reason that we're so awesome as a country is because we're cool. Well, now, okay, there were mistakes made, okay? Because he's clearly talking about slavery.
Right.
Mistakes, okay? But other than that little mistake, that little just, misstep, as it were, if you will, per se.
We've been perfect from the beginning. Everybody's loved us. They've modeled all of their best laws on us, except for some of that, where, like, technically the Nazis were doing experiments on people that were based on some things that United States scientists did to black people against their will. And it doesn't matter. We're great. And it's because Jesus has always loved us. We're perfect. Everybody knows this. By the way, folks, not true. Bullshit. And when he finally finishes the point, I'll say it again.
There you go.
Wrong.
America has been predominantly a Christian nation.
Get those headphones on.
Yes,
Get that.
a lot of
The headphone thing is just driving. I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry, folks. This
way
is
too difficult. Can't possibly.
Why would you put them on and take? Anyway, you know what?
Wicked things that were messed up. But this is not a Muslim nation. This is essentially, right, in God we trust, and we swearing in, on the Bible and things like that. And
I don't think he knows that you could swear in on any.
I don't think he's right. I don't think he has any fucking idea about any of this, because it's just like, oh man, dude. Like, I mean, first off, like, not that this is the most important thing to criticize you on, but like, Muslim nation is not the way. An Islamic nation, right? Because Islam is the religion and Muslims are the people, so like probably a good idea to have some distinction, whatever.
Separation. Yeah,
fuck it. I mean, it's fine, whatever. But like, and again, he still hasn't gotten to the point, and he's trying to get to it. But just in case anybody out there not super positive, just like Brent said, you actually can swear on anything, and you don't even have to swear. You can affirm, because that is specifically for the Mormons and the Jehovah's Witnesses, I believe, who do not swear. So we have passed that law even to help protect religious freedom, which I'm in favor of. Like, I'm fine with that. I think it's silly, but like, that's the right secular way to do this. But also, again, in God we trust, never, definitely wasn't the model for a really long time. In fact, the original model was e pluribus unum, out of many one, which is a way better message than in God we trust.
Right.
So
makes no sense. And I just want everybody to take a second to appreciate, he looks like he's on Xanax.
Yeah. He's all flexed up, bro.
He's flexed up on that Xanax. Jesus. And that's the way they paused it. But
the truth of the matter of what Trump is saying is, the further they have taken 10 commandments out the schools. Remember, they took prayers out the school.
Okay. The First Amendment is directly in conflict with the First Commandment. Like, the First Commandment is directly in conflict with the First Amendment. Like, you can't don't worship any other gods,
right?
And put that on, like government property. Why is it that they need so much validation? Like, I want my religion is true on every government building, please. Can you
Because
do that?
yeah, because they have to be persecuted, right?
Right.
You have to have the world fight against you, because that is confirmation that you're on the right path. It's like in a
Right.
video game, when you turn a corner and there's no like bad guys there, it's like, ah, shit, okay, maybe I shouldn't go down this hallway, you know? Like you
Right.
have to go down the hallway in the video game that has the bad guys to fight, because otherwise the story doesn't continue, you know?
Right.
Now that
Okay.
makes sense in a fucking video game, you guys, but in real life, if you run up into a room where you were not invited and just start yelling at people that they don't believe the right thing, and then they go, wow, let's get rid of that guy, that's not persecution.
No.
That's reasonable responses to a dickhead. You know?
Yeah, they just go and annoy people, and then they're like, "Oh man, see how persecuted we are because look, they responded to my annoyance." You know, like what the fuck?
Why won't you just let me yell at you about how you're gonna burn in hell because you're a fucking horrible, you know, terrible person? Why won't you let me tell you what you're thinking? I don't understand. Why are you getting so upset by that? It's just
Right.
super weird. Oh, by the way, don't show me a rainbow, because you know, then you're
Yeah.
just forcing your beliefs down my throat.
Indoctrinating through a flag,
Yeah.
you know, that's
Yeah. Or talk about your 20 plus year partner, you know, that just happens to be trans or anything. That'd be way too far, by the way, if you just mention, hey, this is my partner, Sally. We've been together for a really long time. Like
Yeah.
that'd just be too far.
Not
So,
allowed to mention that.
yeah,
You know.
fuck
Like, don't
you.
say gay at all. Actually,
Yeah,
just don't
you
even
know
say
what?
it.
Yeah, don't even.
Just don't even say
Good
it.
turn, my kid, you know? My
Selling it.
kid's only ever heard words like hetero and straight their
Right.
whole lives, and if they just find out this word even exists, honestly, could be the end of our entire family.
Right.
I'm just
My whole family would be gay. Okay,
I
that's
just I'm
they
pretty sure
find
that's
out what it is.
oh, sorry, I think I just caught it. I think you said it so much. I think I just caught it. Oh no. Oh no.
It's the sad thing is that's literally what this is. They
I
think
know.
that their kids like will
Yes.
just, oh, they found out about it, and they're like, oh, that's me, and then it's because they
Which-
found out about it, not
Which,
because
by the way, like, you know, obviously this is stupid, but like imagine being on the side of somebody who was like, you know, what's really problematic is a young human being setting out, you know, on their own for the first time, who stumbles across some new concept they've never heard of, and then upon learning further about that concept, finds more security in who they are and a happier life. Imagine being against that.
yeah,
Okay? Because
not on
like
my watch.
that's the
It's like-
again, all of this is stupid, but if we just for a second give them their toys and like run through that thought process, it really is extra atrocious, because it's like, yeah, like there's this little girl who hasn't felt the same way that her friends has for years, and she's never really been able to express them to anybody, and then one day she picks up a book and it talks about how, yeah, sometimes little girls like this or like that, or don't like this or don't like that, and she goes, holy shit, that's speaking to me, and now I feel so much comfortable to be myself. And you know, again, just think about that for 2 seconds and then go, no, actually, I think that's a bad thing.
but you're supposed to not do any of those things, you know, according to your family. That
Again,
it's just
they're the ones with the morals, folks.
yeah,
Remember that.
The
They're the
family-
ones with the morals.
the family values that cause you to kick members of your family out. Of your- It's like you don't value family. What are you talking about? Jesus. Wow.
You can see a correlation that school shootings and different things started going up. And it doesn't matter what nobody says. We know that America is crazy right now.
Hold on. I feel like we can research this.
Oh man, it'd be so easy. It'd be so easy. It'd be frustrating if it was like, I don't know, say for instance, a hard right version of a group of politicians in the United States in the 90s specifically defunded an organization paid for by the secular federal government to categorize, research, and investigate shootings amongst the citizens and give well-informed opinions as to how to prevent those or the best case scenarios in what to do in those moments. It would be a shame if that were easily accessible knowledge that anybody could find and then see the correlation between the amount of shootings, mass shootings that go up, or like say the repeal of various simple common sense safety measures, you know, about like background checks or something. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
it'd be horrible if we had that information such at our fingertips.
right. And it's so frustrating too, because like the right wingers are always the ones. Like if they, you know, it's like 98% of the time they're right wingers that do those kinds of shootings, you know. And it's like what every single shooting of 2022, whatever, was like a right wing extremist because they hate everybody and love guns.
Because the deep state is coming and they're kicking out our Jesus, and the obvious thing to do is indiscriminately shoot children.
Right.
That's the right answer. That's the I thought we were all on the same page on that. And of course, the response to that is not to, again, say maybe, I don't know, hold gun manufacturers responsible who,
Just a little bit,
you know, I don't know, push these narratives that are clearly factually untrue, or say, I don't know, maybe require a license or certification that shows that an individual has gone through any fucking training whatsoever. Or maybe even, and this is really crazy, maybe even allow individual businesses, private ventures, to restrict patrons or employees from bringing these types of items into there, because, you know, that just completely is in line with the pro-business stance of the right wing of our country, right? They're so pro-business that they go against the private business owners' wishes to force them to allow firearms in their establishment. I mean, that would be crazy, again, if it's literally happened in 20 some odd fucking states, including my own. That would be crazy.
I mean, this is America, okay? We got to be able to take my rocket launcher wherever I want. Okay?
I need to be able to buy my cigarettes and my beer and my bullets all at a fucking Walmart, where I don't buy my goddamn lettuce, because fuck that shit. Everybody knows that is a government conspiracy.
That's my food's food. You know, that's lettuce.
Gotta eat raw fucking meat only. Raw meat and salt, bitch.
It's a steak.
Ben's gonna get word of this and fucking hate me. What's wrong with you?
All right. Oh God, that's awesome.
And we have been warning about this for a long time, that the further we get away from God, the crazier it's going to get. And so God uses the foolish things to confound the wise.
There we go. All right. So the farther we've gotten away from God, the more crazier things have gotten. I feel like that's just like objectively false. Like we can look at like crime statistics. They're literally we're on the more secular we've become, the you know, the violent crimes have gone down. You know?
It's literally, I know it is tough a lot of times, especially for those of us that are really involved in these spaces and deal with a lot of this bad shit, right? And obviously there are slips, right? There are times when we fall backwards in this progress. But I always want people to remember at least a couple of things. Like right now, currently, we live in a world where more people than ever have not been slaves their entire lives. Yes, there is absolutely still slavery right now, and we should 100% do everything in our powers to abolish it. But there literally was a period of time not long ago that half of all human beings you could just guarantee their entire life was enslaved.
Jesus.
That's insanity. And yet that is amazing progress. We currently live in a world where more people have access to the most basic necessities to survive than have ever had access to it in the history of the world, as far as we know. That is phenomenal. That is absolutely phenomenal. Again, so many of these things are amazing. Yes, absolutely. Lots and lots of terrible, terrible things. Not diminishing any of that in any shape or form. But just to, you know, just to be like, oh yeah, man, when we had God, you know, back in the 1860s, it was so great. Like there wasn't anything bad happening then. Like, gosh, way back in the 1920s when we all just loved Jesus so much. Everything was so fucking perfect. If only we could go back to that time.
Right.
Like, do you guys realize it wasn't right. Everybody really understood family values. Yeah. It wasn't as if anybody was like murdering their children or anything. Like that would be fucking crazy.
Right.
You know, like beating their fucking wives to death or anything on the regular. Like, yeah, that never happened.
Right.
You know, it's just recently since everybody stopped loving the genocidal character of God.
Right. And women couldn't even like leave if they were being.
Oh my God!
Like, this is so
you
many.
You had literally half the population unable to make decisions for themselves, unable to be in public by themselves. Like, yeah, but it's terrible. It's a terrible time we live in, Brent. It's a horrible time.
I know, right? It's just getting
now,
further away from God.
And real quick, and again, I know I keep going. I can't help it. But like quick, you know, when I hear the word when I hear the phrase like we're getting further away from God, you know, my first thought is like, well, yeah, and that's his fault. Like he told us he was coming right back, and we're still waiting here. Like, how long do we have to wait to start eating our food, man? We all showed up for the dinner. You showed up for 5 seconds. You said, order me potatoes and a steak. We did that. It's fucking here. Where are you? So we're only getting further away from God because Jesus won't come back yet. And that's on you, Marcus. You figure that shit out. I don't know. It's your guy. So.
Yeah, if he would just come back, we could, you know, he could tell us.
We'd be so close to him. All he has to do is, it's like, my door's open, dude. It's unlocked. Come on.
Be practically kissing at that point. That's
right.
Jesus.
Right? If everybody could just see the truth, then it wouldn't be broad is the way that leads to destruction, narrow is the way that leads to eternal life. If it was so simple to discern what the truth is, then you know what? Everybody would get it if they love the truth.
See how they just replace the word like Christianity with truth? Like they have to do that as like a brain exercise. Like they just like the word truth just doesn't mean anything at that point. You know what I mean?
No, it's completely arbitrary and bullshit. And let it go just a few more seconds because I think this was one of the things I really loved. When I heard it the first time, I was like, oh boy, that's a pretty massive admission, I think. So he said, again, remember, he said it's you know, the truth is tough. Okay. So let's
back up 10 seconds and then we'll
leads to eternal life. If it was so simple to discern what the truth is, then you know what? Everybody would get it if they love the truth. God allows things to be a certain way that we have to pray. We cannot lean onto our own understanding. Well, I just don't like Trump and I don't like this. And the media said this.
Okay. So here's the point I really want to make sure everybody gets out of what he just said. Okay. God does not want everyone to come to him.
Right.
You following me?
Said, right?
God, by his admission, purposefully makes it difficult so that the majority of people will be incapable, not that they just won't do it, right? He threw that in there as a little bit of the safeguard free will, get out of jail free, okay? But just you can move past that. It doesn't actually matter here. What is important is that he admitted his understanding of this truth, Christianity, his very narrow-minded viewpoint of it, is one that God purposefully makes it difficult for people to come to him, thus having eternal life, meaning God purposefully makes the majority of human beings for eternal conscious torment. That is his view. That is his disgusting, fucked up, warped morality view. That's him, not me. I didn't say it. He did. That when I heard that the first time, I absolutely was like, oh man, I'm fucking talking about this. I have to point that out because I've been saying that shit for years. I've been trying to tell people for years, like, no, actually, this is this really fucked up system when you look at it. People are like, no, it's fucking great. It's awesome. It's amazing. It's so cool. And I'm like, no, this is the consequence. This is the end result. This is the end result. You have to agree with the Calvinists.
Right.
And go to any fucking church. Go to any fucking church that's not Calvinist and say that to them. You get your ass kicked out so fucking fast.
Oh,
They don't even give a damn if you signed. Right. They don't care. Yeah, they kick your ass out. Go walk into a fucking Baptist church and tell them the Calvinists were right. Go tell the fucking Mormons that. Yeah, they'll laugh you out so fucking. But that's his view. That's his understanding. It's fucked.
Yeah, it's almost like the divine hiddenness thing too, where he's like saying, he's like saying like he stays hidden like on purpose because he doesn't want people, because he's like, if it were so easy, there'd be so many more people. Yeah, it is like, so God doesn't want it. He wants it as difficult as possible.
Exactly. And the reason that free will doesn't matter is because God could easily get around that and make the way broad, right? And make the way to destruction narrow. God could easily accomplish this and purposefully chooses not to. There you go.
So we can
get
not my
view, that's his view.
It's like, so we can get more loyalty, I guess. Is that what it's like?
You suck his dick a little bit harder, man.
Yeah.
It's always, it's always better when you are enthusiastic. And I say that as somebody who loves giving and we've been talking way too much about oral sex. That's on me. I'm sorry. I think it was the second Adam and Eve.
If you want some oral sex, you can go to AdamandEve.com. Enter code word Brentley at checkout. 50% off any one item, 6 free movies, 3 free gifts, and free shipping on the whole order. Discreet packaging. All right.
I receive no kickbacks from that, by the way, but Brentley does, so it's helpful if you go do it. So go do it.
Yeah, go buy the stuff. It's good stuff. It is. I swear.
I've told you guys for years, when the big mainstream media, right, the demonic Hollywood, these elites, the Freemasons, the music industry, the LGBTQ community, the BLM who was pushing the LGBTQ stuff.
Okay, I love how he had to like clarify this. I am against Black Lives Mattering, but only because they do the LGBT thing,
I know, and it's just what they do. It's just what people do. They just start making these really vague lists of people that just get more and more disparate as the time goes on. It's like you start off with like, all of those Harvard graduated, elites, and you're like, okay, well that's a pretty succinct group. I still feel like it's pretty, heterodox. I feel like there's a lot of different, but okay, like at least that's a pretty small chunk of the population. And then he's like, and all of those people living in California, and you're like, well, that's a shit ton of people. Yeah. Okay. And all of those LGBTQ folk. And it's like, wow, now you're just really, I don't even know what to tell you, man. Like,
and women, just all women. I don't
everybody out there that has hair that is of a shade between a light brown and a dark brown and sometimes a little blonde.
Them too.
Everybody? Is that you're talking like everybody? Okay. All of those oxygen breathers out there. You know the ones I'm talking about.
That's right. Oh God, that's funny.
All of these people are pushing a narrative. And the Bible says broad is the way that leads to destruction. And you see all of these people coming into agreement, and they're saying, love this person, hate this person, vote for this person, tear this person down.
Does that sound like anybody else? Like,
what is he doing?
It's a fascinating critique, Like imagine if I was here to be like, yeah, this dude just sitting there talking into a microphone, putting out his views, critiquing other people and talking about the correct way to live one's life with morals and stuff. That's ridiculous, man, that he's doing that. And be like, what?
That's you, man. That's what you're doing.
Sitting there with his gumball machine in the background and a stained glass of a cow. Got a black t-shirt on, long wavy hair, crazy, drinking his Monster. Freaking idiot. When people start, when you see people doing stuff like that in their black t-shirts, talking into a microphone on camera with their Monster in their hand, you be wary.
Because they're getting into something that's not very honest.
All those people.
All the other. Jeez. Yeah, because it's like, and it's funny because they make it like Trump is such an underdog, and that's where this comes. They're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, all the media is telling you not to like this guy,
Oh,
but
yeah.
also to like, yeah, like that's all of their, that's all their media does. It's like obsessed with telling you like that Biden's awful and evil and Satanist or whatever,
No.
and Trump's amazing
No.
and incredible. Like, but
No.
those don't count, I guess.
No, because they have the truth. Come on.
Right, that's right. The truth.
Duh.
Forgot about that truthy
To
truth.
me, because if you don't have the spirit of God, what
Mm.
spirit is making you unite? What spirit
None.
is making you come in agreement?
Satan, of course. It's like, what?
Right.
It's that that skeleton looking thing from the Frighteners movie. I don't know what fucking, what
All those
spirit?
children we sacrificed, right?
That's right.
All of that.
Oh my god, what the fuck? So weird.
And so the Bible talks about the gods of this world has blinded them. The Bible talks about the spirit of the Antichrist. What I'm saying doesn't make sense to people who, number one, don't love the truth.
I know that he's saying more, but I truly just love it when that happens. And it's like somebody like him just says, I know what I'm saying sounds crazy. And then it's just like,
There's no
Yep.
but or
Yep.
anything.
yeah.
No.
And then but I have done the research. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. But seriously, like, don't you kind of feel like you're, that's a little bit of you admitting the truth there, buddy?
bit.
I know what I'm saying doesn't make sense to people who already disagree with me. And it's like, oh, okay, well, I
That's
feel like,
because it's like I know what I'm saying doesn't make sense, and the reason it doesn't make sense because those people that are trying to make sense of it are got demons bouncing around the brain, man. Those demons are making it all confusing for them, and
right.
so
See, your problem is you forgot about exorcisms, and humors. You did too much bloodletting or not enough bloodletting, or there was bile or ether. It's ether. I take it back. It's all ether. You should have paid more attention. I know what I'm saying has no tangible evidence to prove it, but that's because other people don't want to see it. It's just,
yeah. That's because they're under a spell, so they can't. Nothing makes sense when you're under a spell, dude. It's like that's
duh.
I love that's my favorite rationalization. When they're like, yeah, the devil like makes them not be able to understand stuff.
It's the best way to do it. I tried to last night. I was making not super important, but I was making some like little sliders, little burgers, little tiny ones, and
Love those.
Yeah, it was really good. And I toasted the buns for it, but I slightly burnt one of the buns, and it wasn't because I wasn't putting the adequate amount of attention to it. It was because the devil. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Devils like burning stuff. I mean, they're
Fire,
in hell. Yeah,
absolutely.
fire. But yeah,
Right.
it makes perfect. That's way more. Makes way more sense.
Yeah, because God doesn't like burnt offerings. Everybody knows that.
No, that's right. He likes you to cannibalize him.
Even much more. Shows much more loyalty.
Oh man! All right, we are kind of coming up on the our time here. No, it's all right. Like we got to the clip, so as long as I get to the clip in the beginning, I'm happy. I don't care. It's so sometimes if I play a clip, we're like we're gonna get to that, and then we don't. And then it's like
there's so much. Again, there's so much more in here that he goes through, and like one of the things I was telling, and maybe this would be something fun if you wanted to do this. The last half of this video, this guy really starts going down this like weird race baity route. And I remember seeing it and just thinking to myself, goodness, I wish Blatant Atheist or, Uncle Bobby, I wish one of them was here to just yell at this guy real quick with me, because they would just tear his ass apart. Because again, it kind of comes out of nowhere, where just all of a sudden he's just like, yeah, black people shouldn't vote for Biden because black people don't like devils and Biden's a devil. And it's like, what? Wait, what did race have to do with anything? Why did you just bring that up? And it's just weird. And I think there's a lot of people that would have some very poignant disagreements with his belief that Trump has really been a champion for the Black community here in the U.S. over his time period. So, you know, I have my thoughts, but
yeah, I mean, I hate it when they do, and I feel like half the time they're like, "You can't tell me who to vote for." Okay, like it almost half the time I feel like it just sounds more contrarian than anything. You know what I mean? They're just like, I don't like to be told who to vote for, so I'm voting for the person that's against my own interests.
Right, right. It's just
weird.
it is, and it's frustrating because this is what perpetuates this fucking cycle of, you know, of bullshit and not getting better. Like, this is what you're clearly voting for, people that are actively against what you want, you know, the majority of time. And it's just like, nope, this one thing. They love Jesus. I love Jesus. Who really cares if, you know, people have houses or food or clean water? Are we really sure that lead is bad for you? Are we positive on that one yet? Or,
I mean,
is the science still out on whether or not dumping chemicals from an oil refinery into your drinking water is potentially harmful?
Does not equal causation. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you. So you're 100%.
So that's like the cigarette industry used that line.
Do we really know? Do we really know that, you know, inhaling toxic chemicals on a regular basis is not good for you? Like, do we really know that?
It's because of people that are more stressed end up getting cancer, and who smoke cigarettes more? Stressed people. Okay, that's how it works. It's already, you know.
It's clearly it. Everybody knows that.
So I'm gonna speed through some of these comments, and I'm just gonna pick at least like one, I think, from each person, or try to, maybe one or two, and we'll go for the last 10 minutes with that, and then we'll wrap it for today. But let's see, who's this guy? Wait, you can't. What do you, dude? You can't be doing the chat stuff. Come on, what the hell?
I'm sorry. I can't. I have to multitask. You know,
you don't get to be on the show and have your comment. Monopolizing everything here.
Yeah, well, you know, that's what happens when you bribe people, and you know, that's what. You're welcome, by the way, for those fur coats. I mean, just keep them nice. You know, they are real. I'm
sure. Well, I don't know. Probably gonna get blood thrown on me now.
Yeah, probably.
All the Deep State Annex said, Donald Trump doesn't know how to hold the Bible. He can't quote one verse of scripture, and he's selling them. That is true. It's funny. Yeah, I love that clip when they ask him, like, can you just give me your favorite verse? And you could tell the person was like genuine about it. Like, they were like, seriously, no, I really want to know what your favorite Bible verse is. And he's like, I don't do favorite stuffs, anything, any of the favorites. I don't do favorites. I like the whole thing, all of it, all at once together.
Like, what the fuck? Like, I've had those moments before where, you know, somebody brings up like some obscure reference to, you know, an author from the early 1800s, or like a band from you know, the early 60s or something, and it's like, and somebody will be like, you know, blah blah blah, and you go, oh my gosh, yeah, I love them, I know them, and they'll be like, oh cool, like what are some of their songs or something, and you just go, oh shit, my mind is just blank right now. You know, and like I could sing something real quick, or I could like give you that reference of the time they were on the Johnny Carson show or something, like, but like my mind is blank right now with the specific song that I'm trying to think of, you know?
Right.
But like the whole fucking Bible, bro, like in the beginning, couldn't pick that one out.
Right.
Couldn't pick that one out.
No, John 3:16.
John 3:16.
John 11:45, whatever, Jesus wept one, whatever the short.
Oh my God, yeah. It's like, it's crazy. There's so much of it that should be so easy. You could close your fucking eyes and just say like 7 or 8 words together and probably get a Bible verse.
Right.
Like,
that's a good point. Yeah, you could just I always do. I like the Ezekiel 23:20 one. It's like, you know, it's really fun to sign the Ezekiel 23:20. Is that it? 23:20?
Which one is 23:20?
The with penises like donkeys and emissions.
Yeah, the emissions, like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Always sign your Christmas and Easter cards with Ezekiel 23:20 and to your.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I always really like the one about where Jacob gets his name Israel from, because he wrestles with this random dude one day at night, and like the guy cheats and grabs Jacob's balls or something, and then it turns out that it's God. It's like actually God came down. But here's what's great. Here's what's really great. If you're one of those people that's like super Trinitarian, then you believe that God in the Old Testament is Jesus, as Jesus is God as the human form. So Jesus grabbed Jacob's dick in an attempt to cheat and win in a wrestling match. That's what happened. Jesus did that. That's
awesome.
Your belief. That's your belief. Yeah.
Oh, that's a great. Yeah, we're gonna have to get that verse. And
it's good.
That's great. Let's see. Tons of my said. SR says he's excited. You heard it here.
It's true. It's true.
Right. He's excited a lot, And if you're excited, I'm just kidding. That's too vague. It's like it could be sexual, but
yeah. That was a little forced.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you don't want to have to force it,
there you go. If you don't want it forced to have sex, okay, then you should be into consent. That's what that is right there. It's important. Grand Theft Autobot. I love that name. More proof God doesn't exist. Trump holds Bible and doesn't burst into flames. Right. I mean, has there ever been anybody like a president that's more obviously an atheist, right?
And not because he's thought about it and had like deep conversation or introspection or anything, but because he's just like, I don't give a fuck about God.
I don't care.
I don't care if it doesn't make me money. It's just stupid. It's worthless. These idiots. Like that is. He is the stereotype for that type of cynical fucking person. Yeah. And yet, well.
And it's like, and they even said like in that Cohen book, what's his name? His old lawyer or whatever. Cohen said that he would sit there and make fun of evangelicals and call them stupid and suckers and everything.
Talk about how Mike Pence was a worthless like bitch and stuff, and how he, because, and again, crazy thought, but like, for instance, when Mike Pence is having a conversation with a female employee or fan or constituent, he purposefully makes sure that there are other people there so that nothing untoward happens in that situation. Now, I think Mike Pence's reasoning for that is weird and gross and misogynistic and infantilizing. But at least he's not raping people like Donald Trump has, which we can say because a court found the allegations from E. Jean Carroll are credible enough that when Trump called her a liar for that, he was actually defaming her. There is more than enough evidence.
He got in trouble for lying. Yes. Oh, yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what we got. Oh, Elle's Bells. Hey, Ellen. I said, hi, my friends. Happy Transvisibility Day. Hell yeah. Yeah, that's the day today, not anything else. Let's see. I see. Just what is it? Disequal one? Disequal? I don't know if I'm saying Disequal. Thank you. Disequal one. Oh, I got it. That's cute. I mean, it's not. I don't mean it like in a negative. Anyway, it came out sounded weird. That's cute. Yeah. No. It's what you mean? The rabbit didn't die on the cross.
I really, really, really want somebody now. And I saw Maya was hanging out a little bit ago, and I have seen some of her great work with AI art in the past. Would somebody please do a crucifixion with bunnies and like make it cute? I don't want it to be gross or anything. I just want like an adorable little bunny hanging up on a cross, maybe
into a cross.
Yeah, right. Like that's adorable. Yeah, I just think that's great. I just think that would be so cute.
It's so funny. Hell yeah.
Little buddy stretched out like this, little crown kind of cocked on its head.
Kind of sad looking in their face.
Yeah, right. Bunch of little bunnies in the audience with, veils and cloaks and stuff. A Roman bunny with a whip. That'd just be adorable, I think. And just you could say like Happy Easter. He died for our sins or something.
That's awesome. Really yeah, like do that and. Yeah. I was just gonna say like have different kinds of animals on either side, but I don't know, like a chick or something. I don't know. Do chicks count too, or is it just the?
I think so. I think chicks count.
Right. Okay.
I don't
Yeah, I
know.
wasn't sure.
I've never really understood the connection with all that shit anyway.
I don't know. I guess it's just I think it's all about fucking, right? Rabbits like to fuck, and then they give birth.
You know,
I don't
that
know,
really does make sense. That
right?
does make sense.
That's what I thought. I don't know. Spring
And
is like
here's a really interesting question. Do rabbits fuck to such a ridiculous degree more than is there no other living creature that fucks as much as rabbits do? Like, is there another
I
I
think
just
that
I don't
like
know.
rats or mice, I think, mate the same kind of way. Like they'll
Wow.
just keep on mating
All the
in the same,
time.
out of the same litter or whatever.
Brilliant.
They could like let me see here. So what we got? It was this worm food said it was originally just the Jewish Passover. They changed it to correspond with Ostara, the Germanic pagan spring equinox, early in the forced conversion of the Ostrogoths. Is that am I? And Danes. I don't know anything about the holiday stuff. Just is like crazy because I always hear so many different like, oh, this came from that and that came from this, and I think a lot of it gets very difficult to pin down where we got everything from exactly.
Yeah.
But it is some interesting history to look into.
Yeah, and there's so much good evidence, even if we don't have the exact, constructions and so forth. There's so much good evidence that all of these Christian holidays that, people are like, they've been just the way that it is for fucking ever. That's just so not true. Like that is just so blatantly obvious. Like we definitely didn't have Christmas the way we've had it for the last 50 years until about 50 years before that. So it's like, but yeah, whatever. Eternal, unchanging omnipotence of God.
Right, that changes all the time.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's funny. Wolfo said, Trump has such a boring ramble every time he talks. He kills the buzz I tried to build up to keep him out. Will someone send that moldy orange home moldy orange home wherever his dad is from? That's what reps say, right? Republicans send them back to where they came from. Whatever. Right. Which is what Germany? Is it? I don't know.
Yeah, I believe, and I could be a little incorrect on this, but I believe that there was something to do with either his father or his grandfather actively running businesses in conjunction with the Nazis. I could be mistaken because the Koch brothers definitely have that in their history.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was something like that. But don't quote me on it. Fanta was also created by Nazis. That is true. They don't have that connection anymore, but
right. And you can tell when you drink it. You're like, this is just
evil.
Yeah, it tastes like
pure
hatred. Evil. Hatred.
Pure,
like it tastes
yeah.
way too orange. There's nothing should be that orange.
You're just like, oh wow, yeah, I can completely understand what you were going through back then.
Right. And then it stays on your face, and everybody can see that you were drinking this orange stuff. It's awful. It's embarrassing. That's what it is.
That's why they lost the war.
That's it. All that orange on their face. It's just
or the meth one.
Right. Or that didn't help. I mean, it did a lot right at first, and then it didn't help later. But it's funny how that works.
Oh God.
Serge said, I think the pledge was put in during World War II, around 42-ish. The God part was added 2 years later.
Yeah. I think that's correct. Because it was under Dwight. It was under Eisenhower that we put the God in it, and that would have been in the mid-50s. But I think you're correct. It was the Pledge of Allegiance was in circulation in schools before that, without that particular line. But yeah, it's just more evidence of the Christian nationalists shoehorning their shit in, right? Because even Dwight D. Eisenhower, like before he ran as president, was like well known for not really giving that much of a shit about God and religion. And then all of a sudden he's like, yeah, I'm gonna run for president. Hey, by the way, Jesus, super important to me. You know what my favorite book of the Bible is? The Bible, just as a whole, the whole thing, all of it, just everything. It's my favorite book, all of it. My favorite book of the Bible is the Bible, which is my
Is
favorite
that
book
one?
as well.
He probably doesn't even understand it. I don't even know what you mean. Book of the Bible is the book. What do you mean the book of the Bible? There's just the one, the book, Bible. Why would there be multiple books inside? But that doesn't even make sense.
See, this is the woke agenda, the LGBTQ trying to brainwash our children, trying to tell them that the Bible is multiple books. You know, we know the Bible is not multiple books. You either have one book or no books. There's no in between.
You can only have one. Oh, he's saying hi. Yeah, let's see.
Hey.
Oh, hey. Let's see. D said, but Behiston? D Behiston? I think that's saying it right. The USA Bible. That's some damnation. Bible 2.0 is here.
Right.
Some damnation Bible.
Right. Everybody knows the original Bible was written in English with the intent that us here in America would see ourselves at the center of it. Everybody knows that. It's very obvious.
Got it. Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Super clear.
The everybody knows the Constitution was actually before Genesis. That was
Oh my gosh, yeah. In the beginning, God said, "Let there
sign the Constitution."
Yeah,
and
then John Hancock signed it bigger just over it. That's why it's so big.
They have a very similar looking signature. It's hard to tell. You know, it just kind of overlaps.
All the Freemasons were covering it up. So they had John Hancock sign over Jesus' name. Holy shit. You know what's terrible? What's terrible is I feel like a week from now you're going to call me and be like, so I found this video from a year ago. And I'm going to be like, oh my God. We were just totally making shit up to be dumb. And this guy is literally peddling it. That's what worries me about
it's gonna be one of those TikToks with that weird like that weird the conspiracy note music, you know. Did you know that John Hancock's signature looks just like Jesus's? Why do you think we couldn't tell Jesus signed it? That's what I thought.
At the grocery store last night, I saw a magazine on the shelf that was like the real face of Jesus Christ. And it had like half a fucking AI image and half of the fucking Shroud of Turin. And I was just like, this is the world we live in.
Oh my God.
The world we live in.
There was just some dude come back.
Some random assholes probably tortured and just wanted to be left alone. We're all just digging up his bones and poking him all the time.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
That's how you get a poltergeist type situation right there. And
anybody's going to come back and haunt you.
You want your kid to get sucked into a TV set? Yeah. Well, you shouldn't have done it. I'll Titan Uranus is here. What's up? Titan said, Bible, omnipotent being makes unimaginably huge universe, waits billions of years because his hobby is talking monkeys what to do with their tingly bits.
Yeah,
that's good.
Exactly.
I like
exactly. God finally comes down, wants to talk to us, wants to give us a message, and one of the big takeaways is like, don't touch that part of your body that is actually pretty much exclusively designed to feel good when you touch it, by the way.
Don't do that. Yeah.
But on the other hand, randomly throughout your life, you're going to experience some of the most weird and uncomfortable pain when you hit your elbow on things, which I'm going to make happen so frequently that we have names and remedies and all kinds of things for it. Yeah, that's the perfect human body this all-knowing, all-loving God created.
Right. And I love that he can tell you not to touch yourself, but they're like, but you can't just have God come out and say not to own people as property. I mean, nobody would actually do that. They had to slow walk him, out of that one.
Everybody knows that when you go into a crowd, especially of, say, teenagers who are going through the midst of puberty, right? Everybody knows that when you walk into that group and tell them not to touch their tingly bits, everybody just obviously instantly falls in line without any indoctrination or coercion or trauma or anything. So
right.
They know that.
Exactly. Let me see. And let's see here. We'll do left-handed Jedi said so deadpan. We love God. That is exactly what it
I love God. He's the best God. He's the only God for me, at least. Others may have their gods, but their God's not as good as mine.
No.
My God's the best, and he should be your God too.
It's like, I am very bored right now. It's like,
Right.
oh God.
If you don't want to
Captive.
be here, Trump, you don't have to. Like, just
Right.
go.
You don't have to sell Bibles, man.
Yeah.
Come on. You know, you're a millionaire. Why are you doing this?
Right. You have so much money, don't you? That's why you're
Right.
having trouble getting those bonds
Right.
for the cases,
There's-
because you have so much money.
It's too much at some point. It loops back around.
And it makes it
Um,
difficult to.
It's like, as a captive dad said, the guy who can't name a single Bible verse is selling them to people who will never read it either.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Which
Exactly.
is why he threw in the important founding documents for the United States of America. Right.
They won't read
Did
it
you,
either.
did you catch that part where he was like, some of, a lot of you haven't read this and you don't know what rights they're stealing from you. The part that he left out is the part where he goes, and I'm fucking banking on that. I'm hoping very much so that by putting these documents and all of the things that they express next to a book that you will never pick up in your life and actually check, I'm hoping you just won't know when I'm blatantly lying to you, telling you things that aren't there. It's smart, actually. It's smart, actually. You know the
Right.
junk drawer? You know the junk drawer everybody's got? Well, you put the most important things at the bottom of the junk drawer.
Right.
Because then nobody's gonna look there. It's all junk, It's like, yeah,
Exactly.
it's like, hey, what could we do to make people less educated on the founding of the country? And it's like, oh, just put it next to a Bible.
Right.
Oh yeah, they don't read
Then
that
nobody
shit
will read it,
anyway.
yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. The only people that read that are those fucking weirdo atheists, and like nobody gives a shit what they say anyway. So
Right. Make America Magoo. Make America great over and over. Look at the trees.
yeah.
Oh,
And that just shows the sheer lack of imagination. He had the one good idea of stealing Ronald Reagan's slogan and then was just like, I'm gonna run with that. Like let's put my face on bottled water, make America drink again.
Right.
Let's put my face on a toilet plunger, make America poop again. Like it's just it's just
spotless.
no creativity whatsoever. It's like the
No.
15th time you hear it, you're just like, man, you really love that saying, don't you?
Right. It's fucking weird. Let's see. MAGA, is it MAGA? Morons, adoring, grifting, asshole. That's pretty good. I like
Everybody
that.
loves a grifter, Everybody loves to be scammed.
Right? It's what else you're gonna do with all that money lying around? It's all the extra.
Right.
John said, bigots make America great. Sweet. Where's Hitler? Jeez. Basically, I mean, that almost seems like that's what they think, right?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta wrap it now. I gotta get ready and go do a family thing. But thank you so much for hanging out, dude. This is awesome.
I absolutely love it. Seriously, like we were giggling like the whole fucking time. And that I think that is true of every single time I've been on with you, man. Normally this is what happens. We get through like 8 minutes of a 20-minute video. Next time I'll try and shut up more so that we can watch it and listen to the ridiculous things. But it's just there's so much of it, and so much of it is so dumb that all I want to do is just be like, guys, in any other context, every single human being would be like, wow, that's fucking stupid. And for some reason, when we just replace Jesus, it's like, oh yeah, no, that's really profound.
I'm supposed to
brilliant.
think that this is exactly.
It's fucking
Oh God, it's so funny.
God.
Well, but hey, tell us about. Are you working on anything coming up?
That's a really good question. What am I working on? Is there something? I'll be doing I was on Atheist Experience last week. I'll be doing something with Skeptic Haven, I'm sure, in the next week or so. I'm hoping to get back on Atheist Republic again. We just haven't lined up with schedules for a couple of weeks now. But yeah, I mean, in general, I'm just bouncing around, popping up wherever the fuck people want me. So I'm out there somewhere. If you want to look for it. I don't know. I'd advocate for that. Go buy sex toys from adamandeve.com. That's a much better.
want
My better
popping,
choice.
you want something popping up,
That's right.
then go to AdamandEve.com. Enter code word Brentley. Checkout. You get an exclusive offer.
I really hope somebody from their marketing team at some point stumbles across that, and it's just like those guys are great.
Hell yeah.
So,
But if also if you want to, you can give us a super thanks. We do the super thanks now. I just started doing that. But we could, if you want, you could also become a patron. I'll put stuff up there as every so often, some all extra type stuff. And then I also got a way that you can pay through the Cash App. And our cash tag is Punk Apostate, all one word. And yeah, so if you want to do any of those things, that'd be great. But and I will be giving shout outs to super thankers. So on the next one. So and any of those I'll give you a shout out. But hey, the main thing though is to stay logical, loving, skeptical, and compassionate. And we'll see you next time.